Sunita from UD, University of Delaware, and this is along the lines of, a new program that we started at UD, and it's relatively new since last September. So let me tell you a little more about the project, and I hope I can put this in context to this call. If not, feel free to ask me, questions later on. Yes, I'm from the computer science department, and this is a collaborative project. So let me just advance to the next slide. So to give you a brief idea of my group before I jump into the topic for the day, that's my computational research programming group. We operate out of FinTech, which is by AP Bio on Star on campus. This building is literally 2 years old, the FinTech building. My group predominantly works on interdisciplinary science, so applying high-performance computing, machine learning, AI on scientific problems, right? Real-world scientific problems. So you see all the beautiful pictures. That's the perks of a computer scientist working with a non-computer scientist, because we give you black and white plots and graphs, and the domain scientists give us those pretty pictures. So those are the additional perks. We also, like I mentioned earlier, we have also worked with DMORS in the past, where the idea was to come up with predictive models for pediatric cancer data sets and try and understand, how the drugs match with, the cancer cells and what needs to be done to improvise the drug discovery angle. I also work with NIH, Frederick National Lab of Cancer Research, again, with lots of different types of cancer data set and the drug discovery and, building machine learning-based models to matchmake, right? Lately, we have started to use large language models, AI, for software generation for programming models of interest to high-performance computing. And to put it better, we have started to think about and explore all, most prominent large language models, LLMs, and find the best suited models, right, for the kind of tasks we want to do. Because often you see a lot of these models, but they may not literally answer the question that you want, right? Because they're trained with certain types of data set. And that's pretty evident with the kind of software it generates when we want something different, right? So lots of questions, all comes back to what data you feed in to be able to get the right output you want. So these are the kind of work we do. I have a PhD students, a master's, and a bunch of undergraduate research students in their junior, sophomore year. Some join in their freshman year and stay the whole course for 4 years. And some have gone up to do PhD in my group, and some have continued to do their degrees in external groups and stuff. I've been at UD for 10 years. Literally, this year is my 10th year, and I guess lots of cool stuff have happened. And a shout out to all the funding organizations that have helped my research group growing for all these years. Now, many of these efforts that you're seeing, or I just mentioned, led to this bigger grant. Fingers crossed, I hope the grant continues to exist, given what we are seeing. This grant got funded last September. It is a multidisciplinary grant to build a research software engineer workforce pipeline in UD, state of Delaware, Mid-Atlantic region, with a focus to advance some of the sciences. In the proposal, while we mentioned political science, coastal science, fintech, finance science, it doesn't need to confine to those only. Anything and everything where we see there is a need to apply high-performance computing, machine learning, and AI to answer unanswerable questions so far, or to probe into these data set a little deeper, and work with larger data set and throw them on bigger systems and so on. So that's the overall mission for the grant. The co-PIs of the grant are from UD as well, ECEs, coastal engineering, political science or arts and science, College of Arts and Science. Sorry, oops. I'm trying to minimize the Teams window, but it doesn't want to get minimized. I'll just let it be. We also have collaborators from Howard, Lincoln, and Dell State. RSE, if you have not heard about the acronym, as I mentioned, it stands for Research Software Engineer, where they are not just software engineers, but they are software engineers working towards a research problem, right? As simple put as that. And this has the whole idea of RSE is also to recognize this profession as an RSC, because sometimes it's beyond a postdoc, beyond a computational scientist, because they are creating software, they're applying software to a domain science that has probably never seen GPUs, never seen multi-cores, never seen over thousands of CPUs all put together. Or some those domain scientists who have tons of data set, but they are not sure where to start, and so on and so forth. So the opportunities of being an RSC are endless. They get to publish, of course, with the domain scientists. So there is a interdisciplinary component, as you can see, right? And to nurture these software engineers to also think and explore from a research perspective. So they don't literally, sit in the IT sector of the university. Rather, some of us in the research or in the computer science ACE are the ones who would mentor them. So there is a distinction between SC and an RSC, and that is what we are trying to do, and also create a career path for them. This was also part of a section in my proposal where we are trying to brainstorm how RSC can be its own career path, because it is, right? If you look at usrsc.org, it's a consortium, a nonprofit organization that is built over the last, not a lot of years, but say 5 to 7 years. And this is also picked up in Germany, Netherlands, UK, and so on. So that's that's the angle we brought into this whole grant. And as you can see, some of the current projects ongoing include working with Coastal Science data set. They had about terabytes of data. We literally had to purchase a hard drive, give it to them, and ship it to another entity in the state of Delaware to get those data set. But now, how do you analyze terabytes of data set all at once? Practically impossible, right? You need a storage, you need a dashboard that actually gives you all properties, etc. But that's what makes these problems challenging, as well as opens up opportunities. Social science, fintech. We also work with UD Sports Stadium, where they have softball data set, and they want to further, bridge the gap between the trainers and the trainees, and give them extra information on how these trainees could be even better trained, to maybe they take part in Olympics or other bigger sports events, by just enhancing the existing data set with more analysis to it, right? So we work with them on that. Plant and soil science is another project that we added very recently. So it's a 5-year project, and with the Howard, Lincoln, and Dell State, we have been trying to train them, coach them. We will be visiting these universities in summer and early fall to help them come on board. So there's been a lot of activities that we have started off in the last just a few months. So that's better picture of the partnership entailed. And like I mentioned, it's not just UD, it's not just the 3 neighboring universities, but we're also trying to partner with other entities in the state of Delaware, which includes other councils like American FinTech Council, Delaware Business Association, there is Delaware Technology Park, hospitals like Christiana Care, and other entities. You see a lot of circles in that concentric circle on the left, with a goal to create this pipeline, get the word out, look at different case studies. We put a call out UD-wide, and we received almost 26 case studies from departments, colleges across campus of where they need help with their problems, right, with their real world problems. So now's a fun problem of matchmaking their requests with the students and the RSC FTEs that we are recruiting as we speak. So a quick summary of what we have done so far is, engage with different faculty, and there is more to come. We are also running a RSC coffee hour. For now, it is in person. Every 2 weeks is the cadence. We will continue over summer as well. And we are seeing a lot of students from data science, computer science, cybersecurity, mechanical, come to these coffee hours to learn more about the program and see how they want to upskill themselves by being part of these projects. I will also be teaching a course. I don't know, probably is in the next slide. I'll get to that in a second. We also did a first workshop in February and so on. That's right. So I'll be teaching an RSC course in spring 2026, basically to upskill/reskill our workforce and help them come on board on looking at real world problems, training them with interdisciplinary science data set problems and so on. I'm trying to keep the course as open as possible, not confine it to only a certain cohort, because I think it all comes down to interest, who has the what background and where is the training that they would benefit from, right? So there's a lot of questions to answer, but I'll soon start doing some surveys. So if any of your cohorts are interested to take the course, feel free to let me know. We are also recruiting 2 FTEs, RSC FTE. One will join on Monday. It took us just 12 months to get the first FTE, but the good news is we got about 210 applicants for just one position of this research software engineer. So that was my Christmas project. Look through 210 applicants and try to sift through and put them in different categories and shortlist them for interviews and look at their background and stuff. So it was a good problem to have, but it's good to see the interest, right? So different ways to get involved. Students are getting involved via the RSC coffee group. Faculty are getting involved by telling us about their problems. And hence, we are trying to build a community, UD-wide plus neighboring institutions, as well as other organizations in the state. So these are some, student engagement. There is a Slack channel. We have a website. So sites.udel.edu/DARSE, Democratizing Access to Research Software Engineering is what it stands for. That's the website. And I think if you go to events or, one of them, you should see the coffee corner. You should see the Slack channel, mailing list. So feel free to add yourself or drop me a note. I can help you add you to those. We will have a summer hackathon focusing on fintech this year. Last year was healthcare. It is in August. There's a blurb in the website for the hackathon as well. So if you have students with analytics background, or if you want to put me in touch with somebody, happy to involve them in the hackathon, which will happen on August 13, 14, and 15. So 3 days. And I mentioned this, I think. So there are other ways we plan to involve with the community as well through NSF's Access program, which used to be Exceed. They have a similar idea of soliciting projects from across the country, and they have RSC FTEs as well. And we plan to allocate a portion of time of our RSC to work with nationwide real world problems. So, time management, we got to do a lot because, as you can see, there's a ton of activities. That's pretty much my last slide. I can stop sharing so we can probably do a quick Q&A.